Sportsbooks don't lose. And I mean that literally. They don't lose. So if you're someone who's trying to make money betting, you're going up against something designed to beat you. But here's the thing. There actually is a way to win. Not by guessing better, not by getting lucky, but by understanding one thing almost nobody talks about. When most people start betting, they think the goal is simple. Pick the right team, pick the right player, win the bet. And it makes sense, right? That's how it feels. You watch sports, you follow teams. You've probably had moments in your life where you feel like there's no way this team loses tonight. And sometimes you're right. You hit a few bets, maybe even go on a streak, and that's when it hooks you. Because now you're thinking, I can actually do this. But then over time, you start noticing something weird. Even when you're right at a decent amount, your account still goes down. That's where most people get stuck. Because the problem isn't that you're bad at picking games. The problem is you're playing the wrong game entirely. Sportsbooks are not trying to predict winners. They're not sitting there saying, who do we think is going to win tonight? They're doing something completely different. They're pricing probability. Every single bet you see has a number attached to it. Minus 110, plus 150, plus 200. Those numbers aren't random. They represent how likely something is to happen, plus the sportsbook's edge on top. Let's say there's a bet that has a 50% chance of winning. In a perfect world, that should be even money, right? You risk 100, you win 100. But sportsbooks don't do that. They'll give you something like minus 110. So now you're risking $110 to win 100. That extra $10, that's their edge. And that's how they make money, even if bets are 50-50. So now think about this. If every bet already has an edge built against you, how are you supposed to win? A key aspect of sports betting a lot of bettors commonly overlook is simply the mindset and discipline. Let me show you the difference between a losing bettor and a winning bettor. A losing bettor sees a game and thinks, I think this team wins. A winning bettor looks at the same game and thinks, is this line wrong? A losing bettor bets on only one app, while a winning bettor bets on 5. A losing bettor celebrates wins, while a winning bettor tracks value. Same games, same bets, completely different mindset. This is where the only real strategy comes in. You don't win by being right. You win by getting the best number. That's it. Let's say a bet should realistically be plus 150, but one sportsbook has it at plus 200. That doesn't mean it's guaranteed to win, but it does mean you're getting paid more than you should be. And over time, that's profit. It's like if I offered you this. Flip a coin. If you win, I pay you $200. If you lose $100. You take that bet every single time. Not because you're guaranteed to win, but because the math is in your favor. The easiest way to find value is comparing odds across sportsbooks because they don't all agree. You might see the exact same bet at plus 180 on one app and plus 200 on another. That difference is everything. If you consistently take that plus 200 instead of that plus 180, you're literally increasing your profit without changing anything else. Now imagine doing that over and over, hundreds of times. That's how you separate yourself from 99% of bettors. Now you might be thinking, if this is so simple, why doesn't everyone do it? Because sportsbooks don't beat you with the math, they beat you with behavior. They know you're going to chase losses. They know you're going to bet when you're bored. They know you're going to take worse odds just because it's easier. They're not just pricing bets, they're pricing you. That's why most people never become profitable. And I'll be honest, when I first started, I did the same thing. I was betting based on what I thought would happen. And yes, sometimes it worked, but long term, I was losing. It wasn't until I started focusing on value that everything started to actually make sense. Here's where people get confused. You can be doing everything right and still be losing in the short term. That's what throws people off. They take a good bet, it loses, and they think the strategy doesn't work. But that's not how this works. Imagine flipping a coin. You could get tails 5 times in a row. Does that mean the coin isn't 50-50? No. It just means variance exists. Same thing with betting. Good bets don't always win. They just win more over time. The reason people never get this figured out is because it's not exciting. There's no dopamine in taking small edges. There's no adrenaline in being disciplined. People want big wins. They want to feel like they beat the system. But that's exactly what keeps them losing. This is where most people fail. They bet because they like a team. They bet because they feel good about it. They bet because they saw someone on Twitter say it's a lock. None of that matters. The only question that matters is this line wrong? This doesn't work overnight. You're not going to suddenly win every bet. You're going to lose a lot. But if your bets have value, you win over time. So if you're watching this and you actually want to apply this, here's what I'd start doing today. Step 1, stop betting on one app. Find out what apps are legal in your state and download every single one. I have a link in the description with all my referral codes. With this, you can even get extra sign-on bonuses for free. More value. There are at least 5 legal apps in every state, whether they are DFS, Sportsbooks, player prop apps, whatever. Step 2, start comparing odds every single time. Every time there's a bet you like, you should be checking every single app you have, finding the best value. Step 3, stop asking who wins. Start asking, is this price good? If you do just those 3 things, you're already ahead of most people. All right, this is the part that nobody wants to hear. Winning bettors are boring. They're not hitting crazy parlays. They're not chasing big wins. They're just taking small edges over and over and letting the math play out. And this is where everything really comes together. Because if you take this approach seriously, you stop looking at betting like entertainment and you start looking at it like a system. You're not chasing wins anymore. You're not reacting emotionally. You're making calculated decisions over and over. And the craziest part is, most people will never do this. Not because it's hard, but because it's disciplined. It's not flashy. It's not exciting, but it works. And if you can stick to that, you automatically separate yourself from almost everyone else betting. So stop trying to predict games. Start looking for value. And if you're serious about actually becoming profitable, subscribe. Because I'm going to keep breaking this down step by step.